Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
What's up, rap bastards?
Pardon?
I'm trying to stop saying ladies and gentlemen, so I'm trying to think of different ideas. Nikki wrote in and sent some things. Said, "How about listen up, fives? A 10 is speaking."
Oh Lord, I didn't know there could be worse than ladies and gentlemen, but here we are.
Today, everybody, is World AIDS Day, and personally, I don't like this idea.
No,
sorry, I hate AIDS. I don't know what you're allowed to say nowadays, but I can't stand AIDS.
You're anti-AIDS. That's your stance.
No, thank you. Big day today. We're going to have a lot of fun. This guest, it's one of your favorites. Well, you saw it in the title, so I know you're excited. All right. Editor at Some E-Cards, rater at The Internet. You might have heard of The Internet. Co-host of the podcast, Crazy in Bed, May Wilkerson. Hello, May.
Hello.
I'm looking at this Crazy in Bed. I don't know what's been going on because I'm a big fan. And I say, okay, let's see what's new. The last show was in May, and now there's only 2 shows up. Are you guys taking down shows for defamatory language or something?
We revealed too much. I'm trying to redo my brand. I'm like, me? I'm not crazy. What? No, there's no podcast about that. No, we no longer have a podcast. So, I don't know why they're not online anymore, but I'll look into it.
Okay. But you and Alyssa Limperis, you're still pals. Everything's fine there, right?
We get along great. We still talk about our mental illness. We just don't record it.
Okay.
Don't you have a bunch of shows together coming up?
We do. Yeah. We're actually going on the road tomorrow.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, happy Hanukkah. Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Just testing your Jew.
I always fail that one.
We all fail, and it's fantastic.
Yes, thank God.
The Jews couldn't even agree how to spell it. We're supposed to remember when it is,
So true.
When you
He's so informed, right?
Yeah, it changes. It changes the spelling. The day changes. It's a very tricky holiday.
And I feel like you're not even supposed to celebrate. Like anytime I'm like, happy Hanukkah, Jewish people are like, no, that's not even we don't even care about Hanukkah. It's not an important holiday. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess.
Oh, that's why you're yelling that at me. That's interesting. Yeah, that sounds very unimportant.
I mean,
I think what happened is it lands around Christmas every year. And so if you went to school with a mix of Jews and Christians, of people who celebrate those 2 holidays, your holiday got dwarfed by this other holiday. And to make up for it, a lot of parents started giving Christmas-like level gifts in Hanukkah, which is not the point of Hanukkah. So now I feel like to combat that, they're like, Hanukkah's not important. But Hanukkah is important and celebrated, but it's celebrated the way Jews celebrate their holidays, with maybe a little too much wine, a little too much eating, but also a lot of mourning something. You got to be sad about something. So yes, there's a lot to be sad about for every Jewish holiday, but there's a lot to celebrate also. Donuts. Have you heard of Jewish donuts?
I honestly have not heard of Jew. I feel like the worst Jew ever.
Those are like the donut holes almost, right? What are those?
It's called sufganiyot, and it's like donuts without holes, actually. And it's almost like what do you get at fairs and you put some powdered sugar on it, Zeppelis or something like that.
Fried dough?
Yeah, it's fried dough. Just and then you add powdered sugar. Some people add jelly inside. My mom used to make it fresh, which is amazing. Just in-house donut making.
Do you have on your podcast, when you would talk about anxiety and whatnot, do you stress over the holidays? Was Thanksgiving and family a thing?
I stress over the holiday. I feel like my anxiety is always centered around things that other people enjoy, or just a general inability to enjoy things. Because my birthday is in the end of November, and then I start getting really anxious around my birthday. And then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's.
So here's the thing. I do think a lot of people feel that way. And so now your anxiety is fear of something, right? Does that fear come true every year, or what happens with the anxiety? Because sometimes you're right.
Every year, I'm afraid of getting older and dying. So yes, every year.
You're right.
My birthday. Yeah,
So,
I do. I do get a year closer to death. So that's a bummer. But I don't know what I'm afraid of with the holidays. It's sort of hard to pinpoint it, but I think it's just family. Am I afraid of my family? Maybe. Yeah.
What happened during Thanksgiving? Did you visit?
I actually really like Thanksgiving, and I haven't spent it with my family for the past 5 years. I mean, I love my family, but there's something great about a Thanksgiving holiday that has just zero emotional baggage. It's just you and a bunch of people just in a room, like binge eating.
This is very telling, by the way. And I think a lot of people can relate to what you just said.
Yeah.
You just said the holidays make me very nervous. Not Thanksgiving. I don't spend that with my family.
Yeah.
Right.
But these other holidays that happen to be visiting the families, what are you doing? If you're the lead in your family, it's your fault. And we're all looking at you. And I don't know. It starts with you. What can I say?
I think May just informed us there's something fun about not crying. Right?
I totally disagree, Keith. I love crying. I love a good cry. If anything, that's my favorite part of the holidays is when you just get to, just crawl, just sneak off for like a good cry.
And then the outside matches the inside and you feel at one.
Yeah. I mean, crying is the best.
Would a podcast about anxiety cause more anxiety because you're thinking about it more, or was it a release? Like, I'm going to say this thing, they'll tell me I'm nuts, that'll make me feel better.
It's a release. I think anytime you talk about any mental health stuff, it's always a relief to know that, you're not the only one. And it's just, it's nice to talk about things in general. I mean, I will say, like, Alyssa and I both moved to LA and a lot of our mental health stuff kind of cleared up.
Oh yeah? With the sun, right?
Yeah. It's like, I made it so complicated. It's like, I would just vitamin D deficient this whole time. So yeah, we started to feel, I mean, I'm still crazy. Like I still have, I definitely still have all kinds of shit that I am dealing with, but
we don't want to take your edge away, of course. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like really edgy and really fucked up. But also just getting to go out in nature and have a slightly slower pace to my life did help a lot. I'm afraid of, I have a lot of anxiety about huge groups of people. And so New York City, maybe just not a great fit for me.
I was biking. I biked to Manhattan yesterday and made the mistake of going through Rockefeller Center on the way back. And it was around 5:00. And I lost my mind. I actually lost my mind. Xerxes caught up to me and I'm just riding like, if I ride faster, I'll just make it home. There's too many people around here and everyone's trying to smash into me. This is crazy. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, shit, is it the other way? Yes. And we have to make the next left. And then 3 blocks later, he's like, what happened to the left? I'm like, I don't know. I just need to get out of here. We can't be around here anymore. And he's like, okay. I'm like, we'll make a left on first. We'll make a left on first. And now we're riding with the cars. There's no bike lane. I'm just like losing my mind. It's too much.
Yeah. I mean, you just accurately summed up my 10-year experience in New York City, pretty much.
Yeah. I picture May on like one of the first, second, third date. And she's in Times Square with this guy. And then all of a sudden she just starts running. But it doesn't mean she wants to get away from the date necessarily. I just have to find her blocks later. And she'll be like, it was just too much,
And honestly, I was like, I'm so glad he's not taking this personally. Cause I'm like, I don't know. We're usually making sure that the other one is like pretty much around the same, block as us. And I'm like, I don't know when the last time I saw you was, but I know this direction now is home and I am going. Goodbye.
Also, love that Keith is taking his dates to Times Square.
Dave and Buster.
Let's go to TGI Friday. Yeah, it'll be really romantic.
Yeah, I'm not acting snobby. You recognize all these restaurants. Where would you like to go?
I'm not snobby. I'm not going to fancy restaurants. I'm just like, let's just walk through a residential area.
What's funnier, by the way, than a comic that hates crowds?
But at least like if you're on stage and people are sitting, there is control to this crowd.
Is there, or do I also hate comedy and just oops, I took all the wrong directions in life. My bad.
Is your anxiety also related to health issues? You mentioned being a year closer to death. Like if you see
No.
No?
It's weirdly not. I mean,
funny.
It should be. That makes sense. It really makes sense
Right.
to be like, oh no, my body. I tend to just kind of be like, oh, my body, something's wrong, but I'm sure it's fine. Like it'll clear itself up later.
Okay. I took a shower before this show, and
Congrats.
thank you very much. And that's the end of that. So when I'm putting my clothes on, I happen to catch myself in the mirror, and I'm freaking out a little bit right now. I'm seeing whether it's moles or freckles that I haven't noticed before, and I mean at least 10. And it's scary shit. And I think I'm bringing it up so that until I see a doctor, maybe an audience member can at least tell me, like, don't worry, these things come and go and fall off. I don't know, but you Google something, and of course, you come up with the worst things. And if it is some kind of cancer, I don't know how I would get it, because let's say it's 1 out of the 4 people that have cancer. I surround myself with cancer-ridden friends, and I have so many friends that had some form of cancer. I don't know how mathematically it could be me also, but I am a little nervous.
Don't worry, you'll lose friends when you get cancer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You'll be a burden. I'm joking.
Do you sleep with, do you eat in bed? Because sometimes I get
You think it's, no, I was just out of the shower though. So
okay, you're just out of the shower. Okay.
It's attached.
Okay. So sometimes I will notice something on my body. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? And then it's like, it's a chocolate chip.
Now, maybe it's been happening slowly, because my girlfriend has said, like, oh, you should get these moles checked out. But I always had like 4. And I just think she's still harping on the same ones. But maybe they keep popping up, and I'm like, who cares? They're fine. I've had them for years. And she's like, well, I don't know.
No, you should get them checked out for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
First of all, why are you looking in the mirror right after a shower? It's wrong timing. Okay, that's your first mistake. And second, it's so funny, Keith. It's not a threat to go to the doctor. You have to go to the doctor, and while you're there, mention these things.
I like Chemda just forgot about doctors. I just found this out, but yeah, then it's gonna be you have to go to this. You saw my doctor, now you gotta go to the regular doctor. Now you gotta go to a skin doctor. Oh, you saw a skin doctor, now you gotta get this done. That's the stress. That's where the anxiety comes from.
Now you have a plan, and you can finally put that wall calendar into use. You can look at it every day and go, what adventure with what doctor do we have today? Once a week. It'll be fantastic. And show fodder. That's definitely going to suck.
I love going to the doctor. You gotta get on board. It's so great. Wow. They look at your body, they give you attention, they ask you questions about yourself, and then they tell you that you're fine. And it's like, if you have anxiety, it's great to just have a professional be like, you're fine. Like everything's okay.
Huh. I didn't think of it that way.
It's the best.
Yeah. I thought you were maybe, stealing more tongue depressors than I was. I was like, how is this fun?
I'm like, who are these LA doctors?
Hot tip next time.
So how are you feeling? And May's like, thank you for asking.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe people in LA are a little self-absorbed. So I'm just excited that they care.
I'm reading a fact that 20% of patients who are presumed to be in a vegetative state were actually awake. So,
Keith, heads up. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. So keep that in mind. I don't feel so bad for the vegetative people, but people like me that think we could say whatever we want, but you were eavesdropping. Keep that in mind, everybody.
Yeah. And this goes with your motto. Just assume we're recording, right? So whether you're dead and the microphone is coming out of your grave, or you're in a vegetative state, assume we're recording.
You're absolutely right. Do you guys, do you have the donation thing on your driver's license that you donate parts if you die?
I do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you think there's truth to the idea that maybe they are just looking for parts and they don't try as hard if you're, a little sick?
I do now. Thanks for that.
I was worried about that before I put it on there. And it seems like anyone you talk to about it or anything, it seems like that's not really what's happening. So I feel like that's made up. Or I want to feel like that's made up because I really want my body to go to some good use after I die.
By the
May,
way,
would you like to give us a different perspective on that?
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I want, take my heart, like put it in a younger, hotter person. And then it's almost like you get to, I mean, they don't have to be hotter, but it's just like a way to kind of keep you alive longer. I'm into it.
You can't mark that on your driver's license, right? Like it goes to a hot person.
It goes to must be an 8 or up. Yeah.
You are in LA.
Speaking of family, I saw Chemda got another care package from her parents. The funny thing being they haven't talked for a decade, but the packages still come every so often.
Yeah, they started coming about pandemic time, I think. And so I don't know. It's so weird. It doesn't come with like, I know we didn't speak for a while or whatever. It's just like, here's the same box you would have gotten if you were speaking to me or not. Here you go. And it's full of like treats and maybe like an article of clothing. One time it came with shoes.
And the card just always says something generic, right? Like, hope you're well. Nothing's been weird about a relationship between your job and lifestyle. So it's basically
the same 3 phrases, reworked in every card that I've gotten my whole life. It's either in Hebrew, like, health and wealth type of thing to you. Right. And, in Hebrew on people's birthday, they say, may you live to be 120. So stuff like that.
I saw you got Bomba, right? That, of course, is that peanut butter sand. You enjoy that a lot.
That's the one thing that my mother knew for a fact that at the time, Bomba was definitely something that I ate. So that's the most. And then everything else is like, well, why wouldn't she like this snack? And it's just random snacks thrown in.
What do you think? Does it bum you out when you get them that the relationship is weird and we're doing this box, or is it just okay? I get some snacks now. It
did bum me out at first. Like I've gotten a little far away from the bum out from the parents. So because I mourned it, I legit was very sad about it. Then the sadness became fewer and far between. Like that heaviness, and now it's the least possible. And I don't. Maybe that's if I heard this from my kid, I'd feel like that's sad news. But that's the way it is. So when I first started getting the boxes, it sort of triggered some of that. And I'm like, God, now I got it. I have to look at it again because it's in my face physically. And so I probably did cry and have a little bit more mourning come back from the first box. But now I just know it's my birthday. I'm probably getting a box. And to me, turning this into an unboxing video on YouTube is the lemonade of me not talking to my parents.
You predicted what's going to be in that box. You did pretty well.
Pretty spot on, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
It's on our YouTube under Keith and the Girl, of course. Here's a letter I'd like to read. Dear Keith, Chemda, and May. Oh, this worked out. Okay.
Thank you.
Longtime listener here. I'd love your opinion on my issue. Please let me know if you think it's a good idea to ask my boyfriend to come to my family's Christmas dinner. They're a 3-hour drive from our place right there. I say no, but okay. For context, I feel I need to mention. By the way,
just even you got to know that even wondering if you're going to go back to family on a major holiday, like the fact that you're even like, shouldn't that just be an easy, like, I'm going to my family. It's a holiday. Yeah. Right. May's already saying.
Don't go.
Right. I said it for a reason that
Run for your life. Yeah.
For context, I feel I need to mention that it's not my boyfriend I'm worried about. Well, I wouldn't assume that, right? He's going to be an asshole.
I guess. Yeah. But I guess you wonder how one personality would clash with another personality. Right. I guess they're not worried.
He's a dream. He's really easygoing and sweet. We've been dating for about 1.5 years and recently moved in with each other, and it's going very well. I'm worried about my family's behavior. My parents are not complete assholes, but they have money, and they've always had money. So they tend to say things that are anywhere from uncomfortable to ignorant to downright rude. They don't have an understanding of people's financial situations other than theirs, and that's to put it mildly. My boyfriend grew up with very little financial means. For a little while, his family used government aid to stay afloat. I'm afraid that my parents' comments will be less than mindful and make for an uncomfortable experience for my boyfriend, and I don't want to put him through that during the holidays or any other time. If it helps to know, my cousins will be there, and they're friendly and fun. I look forward to seeing them. It's the older generation that are stubborn and potentially inappropriate, albeit on purpose or not. I love the show. I enjoy the way the two of you and May, I added, reason things out amongst each other and with guests. And I'd love to hear what you think about my situation. Love, Katarina. P.S. I gave to the Kickstarter. How do I find my ticket to the Silent Trailer show? Okay. Well, great question. And we love your questions. Send your questions to info@keithandthegirl.com at any time. We'll get to all these dilemmas. First of all, most importantly, thank you for supporting the Kickstarter.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to be emailing, by the way, all backers a link to the Silent Trailers ticket through Kickstarter when the campaign is over. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And the campaign is over in hours. Hours. We're not counting days anymore, people. We're counting hours. We still need your support. So please take a moment, go to the Kickstarter for another year of Keith and the Girl recordings, Silent Trailers show in December, a comedy marathon, at least 24 hours, at least 50 guests. That's on February 5th. We hit another group reward, by the way. If you support it at any amount, you get OMAT Club for free. How about that? It's a great way to start your new year. Here's Pam. Pam wrote, barely felt like a person this morning, but I just read this today. But I made it to OMAT online and actually stayed up to do the plank the whole time. First time in 3 weeks. So she's feeling great.
Impressive. It's impressive.
So go to our Kickstarter page now, keithandthegirl.com/kick, collect the rewards and watch the Keith and the Girl Jeopardy video, the main video of 17 facts about Keith and the Girl celebrating 17 years. And now we put up the latest last week on Keith and the Girl with Karen Morrow. It's right there. Usually it's only in the VIP section. All right. So just hours left. Thank you. keithandthegirl.com/kick. Now let's get to this Christmas question. Chemda, May, what are we thinking?
Well, what's the other option? Like, does she clarify what the other option is?
Not going, I guess.
Not go. Yeah. I don't know. Don't go.
Actually, I assumed the other option was not asking him.
Yeah, that's what I'm unclear of, because in a way it's like, well, your family sounds like kind of shitty. So maybe you should bring your boyfriend for backup, but also don't go. Just don't go.
That was, I like that you stayed true to your initial statement. You're like, this can't be good. I predict don't go. And you're sticking with that. Keith, what do you think?
I don't know. It's tough. I would say don't go, but sounds like we're talking about generational wealth. That means presents on Christmas.
And a potential inheritance. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do have to go, and that'd be for the boyfriend too.
You gotta go. Yeah. Just, you gotta be nice to rich people, especially if they're old. You just tell them tell them they look nice and bring them things.
Can you tell them about Kickstarter?
Right. Tell him about Kickstarter. Yeah. This is my dad's problem. He carried himself like he did have money. Yeah. That was the mistake he made. So no, I didn't need to see him. Yeah. Go. I don't know how, what your boyfriend can take or handle, but I know if I was in a relationship and you told me even this generically what to expect, I'd be completely fine no matter what happened, even if I hated them. Because otherwise I'm just going to hate him and I don't even see it in person. Let me see it in person and hate him.
So, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think, did you ask him? Here's the thing. If you go to someone's parents and they're like, my parents are the best and, they're super cool. Because it sounds like the parents aren't the worst, but they do say some of the worst things. And I don't know where the fucking line is, but whatever. So let's say you tell him that. No, let's say you tell him like, oh, they're wonderful, they're beautiful. And then he goes and he has this experience where it's like, this is who you think is wonderful. And then you can't talk shit on the way home. That's when I'm like, oh, you're delusional. You're going to back these people up no matter what crazy they come up with. That's going to come down the line. If they don't agree with us being together, you're actually going to even consider that to be a factor, things like that. But if he can agree that like, yeah, we're going to see some people that might have uncomfortable comments. If you can ask him what his level of comfort is, then he can agree to it. And you can talk shit on the way home. Who gives a shit? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So as long as you can talk shit on the way home, like, what your parents said, that's like really horrible, right? If you come back with, oh, but wasn't the ham great? No, you're doing something in your brain that's mental gymnastics that I am not interested in being a part of. But if you're like, yeah, every time, and they think they're being subtle, and it's this passive aggressive horribleness, and it just becomes more and more obvious or whatever. Like if you participate in it, great. If you deny it, don't fucking put me in that. And also ask your boyfriend.
And what is a greater aphrodisiac than mutual shit talking? I can't think of anything.
So true.
Right?
Yeah, you can bring it into the bedroom later. Just like,
yeah.
I hate your dad. Yeah.
Me too. That's why we first started fucking.
Yeah, go. Let me know. I want to meet. I would like to meet everybody that Kyle hates. I just like to know. I want to know about her life, you know?
So true.
Yeah. There's also, you know, people hear about your dad and no one tops your dad so far. And they're like, wow, I really need to meet that person. It's like, oh, you got to see that in person. I get it. It's a character.
Yeah, I do understand it. Right.
Yeah. And you could be a shared enemy in that. Yeah. That's always fun.
Right. By the way, speaking of the episode of last week on Keith and the Girl, Chemda, you're up for a KATG award for best impression.
How you doing?
Chemda doing Mark DeMayo at 48 minutes into the show.
Okay, but in all full respect to Mark DeMayo, it's a New York accent that I find sometimes I can do and sometimes I can't, and because I can, I just kept going.
There's a twist ending, very fun. And then Paige writes, and I'm listening as I write this. Now we're into a Britney Spears impression. Fantastic. Chemda was on fire. Let's see.
Chemda, that sounds problematic. Well, poor me. I have a conservatorship.
It was just singing. It was just the singing.
Okay.
So you know.
I don't know why I just went like really mean spirited.
Wow. I have to assume Chemda was like, here's my body from the left. Here's my body from the right. I'm a bitch. No, she was just doing the
left and right cheek. I
still think that's unpolitically correct in 2021. Yeah, you can't.
These are the risks.
Can't make fun of Britney.
This podcast is willing to make. By the way, Britney's birthday is tomorrow, just like mine. So
your birthday's tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And happy birthday to you. Your birthday just passed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Me and Brittany, we know. She knows. We share a birthday. You guys
are connected.
Yeah. You can't just let that go.
Yeah.
You'll find this video at keithandthegirl.com/kick. It starts where I found the forums trickster. I found a guy making political points against my points on our forums. Then he didn't think he was being listened to. And so he put up a fake name, and that person happened to agree with him completely. And it's my birthday. I love that stuff.
That is so uncomfortable. So oh my God.
Right. These are these people, they go, Keith, you're wrong about this. You got your Kyle Rittenhouse facts wrong. You fucking idiot. And I go, well, what can I tell you? I disagree with you. And they're like, wow, you can't even see the other side. I'm like, this is a trick because you just did the exact same thing. These people. What can't we have both sides come together? Oh, what a hot take. They're all about compromising the side that disagrees with me. I'm so sure. And how do you compromise some of this stuff, right? Okay. How about we stop fracking? But you get to dump 50% more chemicals into the ocean. A little for me, a little for you. Right? How do we get together? Abortion is legal, but Black lives don't matter. We compromise. Is that fair? You have to be vaccinated, but the first 3 school shootings a year, nobody's good. Can we compromise, people? Can we see also?
You're literally describing the current situation. Like that is how it is.
Then we're getting there.
You do have to be vaccinated, and you do have to accept that you may be murdered in school. It's like, yeah, that's America.
Did you guys see or hear about Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric? Has a weekly podcast called Office Hours. It's a call-in show. But He switched it around the other day, and he doesn't flat out say it, but it's pretty obvious, pretty fast. It's a Joe Rogan parody. It is so fucking brilliant. It's him and two other comedians, and they're talking, but in no way does end for hours. In no way does one sentence end. Like there's no, wow, that's crazy. Now that's crazy, but I don't know. You can't say that now, but back then, and it's different. And this squid ink, it immunizes you, and that's great. But it's the same as before. But now things are totally different, and it just goes on, and nothing's being said. It's so good. Check it out. And it makes me think of when I talked about politicians that say nothing. Are corporations people? No, but people work at corporations. So you have to consider those things and work from there. It's like, you didn't say anything. How clever.
Isn't that like a Family Guy episode where maybe Lois or someone is running and she's making thought out points and everyone's like, ugh, boo, boring. And then she decides to switch it up and she just comes on mic next time it's her turn during the debate and goes 9/11. Everyone's like, oh,
yeah, it's just like that. I just read that CNN's Chris Cuomo has been suspended. Oh, Andrew Cuomo's brother, of course, our former governor. One of CNN's most popular news anchors, Chris Cuomo, has been suspended from the network on Tuesday. That's something when it's a Tuesday, because that's clear. Like if he just didn't come back Monday, I think people would be like, I guess the show's over. But when you're there Monday and you're not there on a Tuesday.
Can you remind us what this guy's problem is? May, do you remember things like this? I get these people mixed up.
Yeah, no, what these white men in power?
Keith, remind us.
I just assume he touched a woman's breasts against her will. I don't know.
So Andrew Cuomo was the one where there's a dozen women that he groped inappropriately, as opposed to that sweet groping. And his brother is Chris is the CNN anchor who was in the news fairly recently from an email surface from years earlier that he grabbed his female boss's ass and then sent an apology note that night to her, but it wasn't really apologizing to her. It was apologizing to the husband because he knows he wouldn't want somebody grabbing his wife's ass. And he said, next time I see you, you're just so hot, but I will try to be professional. That was the email. The big thing
honestly,
now, though,
Keith, that was your best paraphrasing ever.
Thank you.
Yes, that train was followed. Very nice.
But now, so I think that does have to do with what's going on now. But he was fired because he was using news resources to find information on the women that his brother groped, so that his brother can go after them to defend himself. And CNN said, you can't do that.
Oh,
wow.
Cuomo, the younger brother of ex-governor Andrew Cuomo, reached out to sources and other journalists, it's a little vague, to gauge how to do damage control amid the accusations against his sibling, And CNN said that's unethical. Quote, when Chris admitted to us that he had offered advice to his brother's staff, he broke the rules and we acknowledged that publicly. But we also appreciated the unique position he was in and understood his need to put family first and job second. These documents, though, point out a greater level of involvement in his brother's efforts than we previously knew. As a result, we have suspended Chris indefinitely, pending further evaluation.
Okay. Wow.
It is.
I'm just relieved I can stop trying to remember which is the bad Cuomo and which is the good Cuomo, because they're both the bad Cuomos now.
Right.
Yeah, they really did us a favor there.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
After CNN hired Chris Cuomo in 2013, it instituted a policy barring him from interviewing his brother. The policy was lifted during the early days of the pandemic so they can both be talking to each other. So that, Andrew can be talking about, my buddy Andy could be talking about, what's going on in New York City in the pandemic. Here's the problem with the left side of things. I'll tell you what it is. You're not denying things like the raid is. Just say none of it happened. Well, we know it happened. It didn't happen. Trump is on that extra video saying he's going to grab pussy. They go, hey, Trump, what about this? You can just go up and grab women's pussies. And he goes, I heard the audio. I don't think that was me. Why can't we grab some of that? It was video, you asshole. But
more gaslighting, Democrats. Come on, step it up.
I like Chris Cuomo. Why can't we just do that?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Which leads to this. BetterHelp. Therapy I'm talking about. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And maybe there's something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals. BetterHelp can help. I use them. Chemda uses them. We're both fans.
Now, May said earlier in this episode, it just helps to talk about the feelings. It just helps to say it out loud. And here's a neutral person that you can say that to without heavy consequences to your life because you shared it with someone who, now is allowed to do whatever they want with it. This person has to keep your secrets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They do. In fact, I say that after every session. I go, and you can't tell nobody. Okay. They have to live with that. Kind of like when I was a waiter, I'd give the check and I go, you have to pay that now. Anyway, betterhelp.com/KATG. Okay. Better HELP. Join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. All right. So you want to get 10% off your first month? Here's what you do. BetterHelp.com/KATG. All right. Speaking of self-help, I'm reading about a woman married herself because she was tired of relying on men. Okay.
I know that you're probably not going into a good place here with this because otherwise, why would you read this?
And good for her.
So I should wait until the next sentence. But I love this concept. I really, really do. We put so much emphasis on this party and this, being with someone and finding your other half that I wish I can get on board with this. But it usually leads to this funky place. And go ahead, Keith, let me down.
It's never like a normal cool person that marries himself.
It's so frustrating.
Like waiting. Yeah.
It's an Instagram model that is now divorcing herself after 3 months. I let myself down again.
Can you please close the cupboards?
She said she was happy with her self-marriage while it lasted, but she found a man, and so she's divorcing herself and marrying or be with this guy.
Oh, she's legally married to herself, so she has to divorce herself in order to be with him.
Maybe so that he feels more comfortable. Like,
I think he'd be into it because it's like a threesome. Almost.
Yeah.
She is giving back the gifts, though. It's the right thing to do. But divorcing yourself. So this made the news. That's fun to find out because
I wonder if it's on the up and up. You know how the timeline gets. I wonder if she cheated on herself. And that's tough because at least the way I think, you always got to fuck them better than their ex did, right? So this is a tall order. Chris Galera was tired of relying on men and decided to marry herself in September. The 31-year-old model was embracing being alone and was not disappointed to not have a group. I want my toaster back. I'll tell you that much. 3 months.
Okay, but can I say, and maybe I'm okay. So, it's much easier to find someone when you're with someone, right? Isn't that what men say a lot? If they're wearing their wedding ring. So maybe her marrying herself.
Oh, it was a trick. So that I'd show interest.
No, it's like serendipity or some other word that's not a trick that makes things nice.
I have to know you're wanted for me to want you.
Right. It's song. I want you to want me.
All the good ones are taken.
I still love it.
I reached the point where I matured. I realized that I am a strong and determined woman. I was always afraid of being alone, but I realized that I needed to learn to feel good about myself. When that happened, I decided to celebrate it. Okay.
Just say you wanted a free toaster. Like we know what this is about. You just wanted your friends and family to, furnish your home for you.
Yeah. And it was a special model toaster. It was only one slice.
I feel like that's like, somebody loses weight or reaches their goal weight and starts posting pictures online, a little more scantily clad, and was like, you know what? I realized I needed to love my body. And I'm like, I get the message. Right. It's a good message. But these are pictures of you looking exactly like you want, and now you love your body. And that is a confusing message because the love needs to be across the board. And I feel like there's something similar about this, or maybe it's time to lose weight. I don't know.
Well, that's what's funny about that care package that your mom gave you, right? It comes with a note, but don't gain any weight.
Right.
But anyway,
here's a bunch of snacks.
Here's all your snacks. A Cambodian woman, a different person, married a cow. See, this is the thing. People were nervous. What are you going to do? Be able to marry animals? Some places you can, apparently.
Yeah.
The couches are next. A Cambodian woman says she married a cow because she believes it's the reincarnation of her dead husband. What luck that you found the cow. Do you know what I mean? And all the fucking cows, it was in your backyard.
Get that beef, girl.
A video shows Kim Hanks, 74 years old, with the cow. She says that the cow kissed her and followed her upstairs. I don't know what that means. The same way her deceased husband once had.
Like up the stairs?
Yeah. Like, so husband used to kiss her and this cow gives her kisses. So
can cows go down the stairs?
No, they can't.
Oh boy.
So that's why she had to marry it. She didn't actually love it, but it's just like, well, it's stuck in my bedroom now.
Right. Might as well make the best.
You got to make the best of it. Yeah.
She's fucking this cow, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this shit with those udders.
Yeah. I bet that kissing, that tongue is,
right.
Something next level shit.
You ask her, are you fucking the cow? And she's like, oh, it's an animal that happens to be my husband. It's still an animal.
Is it going to be?
We read to each other.
Is it going to be a fun funeral with steak? Or is it going to be like we all have to pretend here?
Oh my God, that's so true. Does she eat hamburgers?
Yeah, you got to go vegetarian.
That's awkward, I guess.
When your cow husband is stuck upstairs, right?
So true.
Or maybe you can eat what you want downstairs because the
downstairs, yeah.
Just brush your teeth good.
Your breath smells like hamburger. No, it doesn't.
You can't have milk, dairy. I mean, a lot of stuff comes from a cow.
So true.
Are you dating over there in LA? Cows or otherwise?
Mostly cows.
He's talking to me. No.
Yeah, I've been dating. Yeah. I went through 2 pandemic breakups. So I took a little break. But yeah, I'm on the apps.
Who did the breaking up? Because pandemic breakups are interesting to me. You did, of course you did. They're interesting to me because you got to tell the guy like, hey, go out there and see people will be death, but I'd rather not be.
I would literally rather be like alone in my apartment forever. Yeah. Right. Than spend any more time with you.
How are the apps going? Because I always picture like, what is a good little bio section? Do you look at that or are you just kind of swiping right or left based on pictures? I
always look at the bio. I don't even care about pictures because I mean, it's
what has stood out in a bio where you're like, okay, this seems like you're not going to maybe.
If they're funny, like anything that makes me laugh a little bit is nice. And if they don't, there's a lot of like swiping left. There's just a lot of red flags. So if there's no red flags, you're like, this could be it. But yeah, anyone who has any self-awareness, self-deprecating, I'll swipe right on that.
Okay.
When I started dating, I wrote on apps, I hate myself, right? And so women are like, oh, look at this guy. He can
we love that. And we love damaged goods. Yeah.
I'm so fucked up.
I'm so fucked up. You can call me daddy.
Right. Are you, with your anxieties, are you comfortable on first dates or is that nerve wracking? Because I don't have anxieties like you and I get nervous on those dates. The whole thing's awkward. I don't know where to put my hands, anything.
Totally. And and I don't drink.
I mean, I'm not a Cuomo, let me be clear. I'm just saying.
Which one?
Where can I put my hands?
Right.
I'm not a Cuomo because I don't apologize after. I don't email. I'm like, you're welcome. No. Do I get, well, first of all, one of the best things to come out of the pandemic is FaceTime first dates, which is just what a gift. I mean, we should have been doing that all along. It's so easy. You can just say like, let's FaceTime for 5 minutes. And, or you can just hang up. There's like, you're not beholden. Like you can do whatever you want. You're not like, once you realize you don't like someone, it's just like, okay, bye. It's great.
Do you ever make up excuses ahead of time? Like in regular dates, you might say, oh, I have an appointment right after this, but let's have fun. And then the appointment could change. I just got a call. Turns out we can fuck. But on this, do you start with, bad internet, but let's give this a go? Do you throw in something like that?
That is an unfortunate thing about FaceTime dates or FaceTime in general is like, it is hard to come up with an excuse. You can't be like, yeah, I gotta go. Like, sometimes I'll be like, I'm hungry. I'll just be like, I'm hungry. And it's like, well, you could eat. There's nothing, there's nothing stopping from you.
I'll walk you to the subway. Your
kitchen is right there. So yeah, sometimes I will. I usually do. That's why I'll be like, I have 15 minutes, so I can talk for 15 minutes, and then if you enjoy,
that's
talking,
a great idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah. And so now all you have to discover is if they don't smell. Like now you've seen them move their face.
That's a huge thing. Or they do. You want them to, there is like something. Yeah. That's pheromones. The one thing that's missing is the pheromones. It's like, you kind of know right away when you hug someone, if like it could potentially be a match.
Right.
But then that can override the red flag. So maybe it's good you can't smell that.
It's so true. I mean, people talk a lot about like chemistry. Chemistry is so important, but I feel like chemistry just leads you astray. Chemistry makes you throw like 4 years of your life away on some guy who like, is a professional like skateboard painter or whatever. But it is kind of nice to be like, okay, this is because, I'm older now. I'm like actually looking for a part, like I'd like to divorce myself and meet someone that would be worth divorcing myself for. But so it is, I feel easier with online dating and with like video chatting to be like, okay, let me be, what is this person? What would they bring into my life that would be healthy as opposed to just, pheromones and physical chemistry.
Right. It is tough though, because, from when I did the apps, a lot of pressure to put a couple pictures up. I'm like, I have to put up the best 3 outfits I ever wore in my life. That is, it's almost like making a stand-up album, but you've been doing stand-up for years. Like, what is the absolute best? Then I need a 4th outfit for when I meet you on Zoom. A lot of pressure.
That's
a lot of pressure.
You got a 4th outfit?
Also, what's an outfit for a guy? Like a t-shirt? I think you could.
And pants.
You can wear the same pants in different photos.
He has for 20 years. Any new pants are the old pants. And anytime we have seen Keith with something outside of the 3 t-shirts and 1 pair of jeans and 1 cargo shorts, we're like, oh, Kyle bought nice things for you this Christmas. Like Keith updates his wardrobe on his birthday and Christmas because those are his gifts from his girlfriends.
One of my picks on the dating app, I didn't even realize I'm on a date. It's like the second date. We're hitting it off, and I go, actually, there is something that I should tell you, and hopefully, I'm not talking too slow and dramatic. But I go, but before I say, she goes, that you were married, and I go, yeah. And she goes, one of your pictures had a wedding ring. You fucking idiot.
And they fell in love.
But that was my 3rd outfit.
What wedding photos.
It was my wedding photo.
Yeah,
it shows that people. It shows I'm wanted. Everybody loves that. Shows I have friends.
Honestly, women love a married man. So yeah, you're onto something with that.
It shows I can throw a party.
Or I can let someone do it.
Right.
There is something about when a man has been married before. It's like you're like, well, someone else committed to being with him.
Just so you know, that's like the smell. That's a red flag, and you just don't know it until 4 years later. Don't fall for that. He's been married. It might mean he wanted to placate someone who he still wanted around because of whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, but she was willing to be placated.
Thank you.
All women are willing to be placated.
Life hack.
That is a great point.
Is it too much if, let's say, we planned a Zoom date, our first Zoom date, but a week ahead of time I send you my cologne so you can put it together when I call you?
Too much? That's my dream man. That's yes. Okay. Thank you for understanding.
You mean you thought ahead? Oh my God, no wonder someone married.
Yeah, a man who plans a week in advance, like before you even said anything. I was like, yes.
You found how to get a package to me?
Yeah. Well, that's terrifying, actually. How did you get my address? Or maybe you're just, really resourceful.
Here's a letter from Erica Chemda. And let's see. Erica says, happy birthday, Chemda.
Me.
I supported the Kickstarter so that we can toast to another great year of Keith and the Girl. L'chaim to you, to Xerxes, to Keith, to Kyle, to May, to all of the Keith and the Girl family. So thank you. All right. And again, one more time, not to scare people, but I got to mention this. There are only hours left for us to meet our Kickstarter goal. So take a look, keithandthegirl.com/kick. Thank you so much for supporting the show. May, always a pleasure to see you. Is there anything the audience should know? Where do I find out about this tour?
Go to oh man, I should really know this. Okay, go to I'm sure if you're listening, you probably already follow Alyssa Lynn Paris on Instagram. Go to her Instagram. She's going to be posting tour dates. I will follow me on Instagram. I will also be reposting them. Go see her show. It's called I'm just keeping it real here. It's called No Bad Days. It's an amazing solo show, and I'll be doing stand-up opening for her on the road. We're going to be all over the place, New York, Boston, Rhode Island. So come check it out.
That sounds so freaking good. And you heard right.
Thanks.
Her profile name is Shut Up May. Now, come on. Who doesn't want to type that?
Yeah. No, this is the Twitter.
Up. You know you want to.
This is the Twitter, Shut Up May. The Instagram is May Wilkerson. The Facebook is May Wilkerson. So take a look if you want to know what's going on in Alyssa Lynn Paris' life. Okay? Right there.
Yeah.
May, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, you guys. This was so fun. Happy birthday, Chemda.